Have you ever felt like you stepped away from something that once defined your life, only to find yourself standing in unfamiliar territory? Imagine the old chapter has closed, and the new one has not yet taken shape. You are somewhere in between, and that middle place feels uncertain. Perhaps you walked away from a job that once gave you purpose, you ended a long relationship, or stepped into a new dream that felt exciting at first. But now the excitement has faded, and the future feels strangely quiet, like standing in the middle of nowhere, watching others move ahead. If that feeling sounds familiar, you're not alone. Throughout history, many people have stood at the edge of change, unsure whether they were moving forward or wandering. There is an ancient story about a group of people who experienced that same uncertainty. Their journey is recorded in the Book of Numbers. They had escaped centuries of slavery and were traveling toward a promised future. Freedom had finally arrived. They had left Egypt behind. For the first time in generations, no one owned them, no chains, no masters. Just open land ahead, but freedom brought something unexpected. Responsibility. The road ahead required courage, effort, and belief. Soon they reached the edge of the land. 12 scouts were sent ahead to explore what waited there. The land was rich and beautiful, filled with opportunity, but it also held challenges. Strong cities, powerful nations, and giants that made the task feel overwhelming. When the scouts returned, 10 of them spoke with fear. Their reports spread through the camp like wildfire. Fear has a strange power. That's because it can change how we see reality almost overnight. The same land that once looked like a promise suddenly looked like a trap. People began to panic. They imagined failure. They pictured disaster. Eventually, the crowd reached a shocking conclusion. They wanted to go back to Egypt, something many of us can relate to. The past, painful as it had been, suddenly seemed safer than the uncertain future. Only two voices stood against the fear. Joshua and Caleb insisted the land could still be taken. They believed the opportunity was real. But in moments of panic, courage often sounds unreasonable. The crowd didn't want vision. They wanted relief. Fear had changed their perception. Instead of seeing possibility, they saw only risk. The land they dreamed of had not changed. The mountains were the same, only their perspective had changed. Sometimes we find ourselves standing at a similar moment. We step into a new chapter, but the unfamiliar territory begins to shake our confidence. You may have walked away from something that once gave you security. Now the future feels wide open and uncertain. In moments like that, a quiet voice appears in the mind. Maybe I made a mistake, or maybe I should go back. That voice feels rational, but often it is simply the mind searching for familiar ground. The brain prefers predictable discomfort over unpredictable growth. Even painful systems feel safe when they are known. This is why change often feels confusing. You have already left the old life behind, but the new identity has not fully formed yet. You are in the middle of transformation. The ancient story calls this middle place the wilderness. To an outsider, the wilderness looked like wasted time. Years passed with the same desert stretching in every direction. But something deeper was happening. The wilderness was quietly reshaping the people. The generation that grew up under slavery struggled to see themselves as free. Slowly, a new generation began to grow up. Where their parents saw danger, they saw opportunity. Same landscape, different vision. Because the people had changed. Survivors had become builders. The wilderness is not where your journey ends. It is actually where your transformation begins.